Hello, everybody. My name is Kay, and I like to tell stories. Mostly they will be true stories. Welcome to even more drunk stories. I got so tired of dealing with this drunk situation with people around me because I no longer did it. I was just done with it. I didn't want to hear anymore. I just said, I can't deal with this lifestyle. And there's good reason for that. When you go back in the collective memory, you start remembering all of these things, almost dangerous situations where, things could have happened, they didn't. Yeah, in 3 different scenarios, I was in a place, not even necessarily drinking myself, but there were drunk guys fighting. Who knows what it's over, but they like to fight. Guys, don't do that. It's dumb. No matter what happened or where they were, I would always get hit with something. One time it was just a drink that got knocked out of the person's hand as they were beginning to fight. So I got pepper sprayed with beer. I'm sitting at a table not doing anything. And another time, the fight was kind of close to me. It seemed okay. I'm sitting at a table going, all right, well, let me move over my chair a little bit, give them room to fight because they're going to fight. They end up getting close to my table that I'm at with my friend. Bam, I'm getting slammed into. It's like, what? I'm not even doing anything. I'm not involved in your fight. After that one, I learned, okay, guys fighting equals get up and leave. The third time I remember getting hurt while other guys are fighting, the fight originated way across the dance hall, I guess you would call it. This was a New Year's Eve. I no longer was the partying type, but I remember my brother was running sound at the place. So we went. They wanted to fill the bars. It's New Year's Eve. We'll stay up to midnight. And I was with my other brother and his girlfriend. And the fight started way over there. Somehow, they end up over by me. Now it's too late. I can't get out the door or anywhere else. And one guy went to punch the other guy. The guy who was getting punched deflected it, and it went right into my face. So I'm the one who actually got punched in the face. After that, I learned if I'm ever in a bar again, and I hope I'm not, guys fighting equals get outside. Just go outside. Be done with it. Don't even stay in there because I'm going to get hurt. That was it for me. In our little neck of the woods where I grew up for part of my childhood, we didn't spend a lot of money on alcohol because a lot of people just made their own. We had 6 grapevines of Concord grapes. And we had grapes coming out the yin-yang everywhere. It was like a little mini forest with the grapevines. And we had so many that my dad would have a surplus. So he would make wine every year. And that was some tasty wine. He could make it however he wanted to. He would put it in this great big giant glass jug. And we could see it throughout the winter fermenting and the good stuff all floating to the top. Little bubbles now and then. Oh, it's at this stage. It was just kind of interesting seeing how you could do it. Also, my dad told me a story about his college days when they made their own. Every Sunday, when the bottles were empty and the little jug that they used, not little, but the jug that they used was empty, they would begin to make the recipe for next week. Every Friday, they would have the beer that's ready. They would drink it, and they would remake it for the following week. And it was one of his more amusing stories that didn't involve people getting hurt or violence or anything. My friend also had parents who liked to grow their own, so to speak, when they made their hooch. And this was a clear vodka-looking type of alcoholic beverage, not beer. It had nothing to do with barley or hops. It was interesting to look at. And so they one day offered it to my friend and I. Oh, you want to try this? Well, okay. I was expecting vodka. They didn't put anything in it to mix with it, like ice or anything else. And so I took a little bit in a fruit jar, no less. I'm not joking. It was in a fruit jar. And I took it. Woo! This doesn't taste like any vodka I ever had because it's not vodka. It's a special kind of Everclear. Most people would refer to as a white lightning. That'll knock you down. You don't want to be drinking a lot of that in one night. I don't know about you, but I really do get annoyed when people try to hide their alcoholism by telling you stories that their alcohol has a different purpose other than to get them intoxicated, right? I met this one lady some years ago who did just that. She told me about having a friend over, and he looked at her bottle of liquor and was giving her a little bit of grief about it, saying, "Are you an alkie?" And she said no. She informed him that it was to rinse her mouth out, as in a mouthwash type thing, is what I gather. And he wasn't buying that. So he said, "You have a bottle of liquor to use as mouthwash." She said, "Yes, because I have bad teeth." And she pronounced the teeth just like that. "I have bad teeth." It's true. She did. I would think that toothpaste probably would have helped her a lot more than the bottle of hooch. What do I know? This one day, my ex shows up. He's going to take my son and I around for a ride. And he's just kind of standing there in the kitchen. Something was just telling me this isn't right. What's going on here? Looked at him and I said, "Are you drunk?" And he said, "No, no, 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 no." As he's shaking his head, he kept turning his head away from me. I had to take a step over to look at him, and I realized he was indeed drunk. There's no way I'm allowing my son to get in a car with him while he is visibly intoxicated. So, denial. Tonight, my roommate got home after getting groceries and proceeded to tell me this event that happened as he was coming out of the store. He'd already paid and was out there where he encountered a man whom he said looked like something was wrong with him. He was really messed up, he said. And so he wanted to see if he was okay. And the guy asked him if he had $1.30 he could spare. And my roommate told him, "I don't carry cash. I can get you something to drink if you need it because it's been so hot." He thought possibly dehydration was maybe affecting his bodily movements and things. After asking him for the specific amount of $1.30, my roommates told him, "Well, I can go back in and buy you something." And the man said, "Okay, that would be really nice of you." The man reached into his pocket and pulled out a bunch of money and said, "Well, if you do that for me, I'll give you all of this." And he just shook his head and said, "2 more days of this stuff," which baffled my roommate. Thought, well, if he has all this money, why can't he buy a juice or a bottle of water? And he said, "Well, what do you need?" And the man proceeded to give him the name of a beverage. It was something that my roommate had never heard of because he's not a big alkie. And he said, "Wait, is that an alcoholic drink?" And the man said, "Oh, yes." And my roommate just turned and walked away at that point. If only people would be honest with you in the first place. Yeah, you could just save a lot of grief in your life if you could just recognize it for what it is when they're trying to be a little deceptive about it. But I hope you enjoyed these stories, and if you want to, come back for some more. I will have more stories in the future. But thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your time.